Today we're talking about why the INFJ is such a master at reinvention. If there's one thing that is certain in this time and age, it's the fact that absolutely everything is changing, and it's changing exponentially. So the superpower of today is the ability to reinvent oneself and to be able to adapt to new circumstances. And you guessed it, the INFJ is a master at this. So today we're talking about the 5 reasons why INFJs are so great at reinventing themselves and how we can double down on all of those qualities and get the best life ever. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you haven't done this so far, to download the free poster on the INFJ Epic Life Formula. And if you want to take it to the next step and you say, now is my time, I'm going to live that INFJ Epic Life starting today, then get the INFJ Epic Life audio guide. Everything you need to know, you can find in the links in the description. Reason number 1 why INFJs are so great at reinvention is because we are everything but grounded. And being grounded is supposed to be a quality that is very positive, right? You're connected to life, you're connected to what is going on. In many cases, this is something that INFJs struggle with, right? There are aspects to growth where the fact that we're not really grounded can be a problem, and we learn how to make the best out of it in these situations. But when it comes to reinvention, this particular characteristic is the most important thing, because once you're able to detach yourself from the ground, once you're able to say, okay, no matter what's going on in real life, I can change that because I'm not connecting my personality to it. I'm not identifying with it. If you have this quality, you have absolutely every opportunity to reinvent yourself because you're not really that attached to what is going on in this life right now. And believe it or not, it's all about how you feel in that moment, right? You could say, okay, I'm not, connected to, the apartment that I live in, the city that I live in. But think of it like this. A lot of people are really basing their identity on what they do day to day, who they become in this world, and it's really, really difficult for them to change that perspective. We all are connected to what is going on, in the real world right now to some extent. And of course, it always plays a role in our identity. Our habits make up so much about how we feel about ourselves. But the fact that we can detach, the fact that we actively need to do something to get grounded is exactly the superpower that's helping you as an INFJ to be able to reinvent yourself in any given circumstance. Reason number 2 why INFJs are such masters at reinventing themselves is because we have the ability to pick up emotional states from other people. Believe it or not, this is something that will make a huge difference in your life. Because as INFJs, we encounter so many people in our life, maybe not so much as other people, but the point is that when we encounter people, we pick up so much from them. So it doesn't really matter that you say, okay, I don't have a big group of friends or many acquaintances, but you have to be aware that you do encounter a lot of people, meaning the people that you do have in your life, the people that you do encounter, you pick up a lot from them. You actually dive into their world. You understand how they experience the world in one way or another. And very often this gives us the opportunity to experience life differently because we're able to pretty much put ourselves in their shoes and then see, oh, if I was that person, that's how the world would look to me. A little disclaimer here. Don't ever feel you experience life exactly as the other person. I used to think that so often, and then I realized that what I'm doing here right now is I'm experiencing their world through my lens. There's always going to be your unique lens on absolutely everything, and we have to take that into consideration. But the point is that you do have the ability to pick up so much from other people. And when your mind gives you the opportunity to see so many ways of seeing the world and experiencing it, it gives us a better chance at reinventing ourselves because we have more choices. You can pick up from what you like from that person's perspective and pull it into your own world. You can pull it in such a way that makes you feel good. Because again, it's about how you experience that situation. If your friend, for example, is all about art and they're really getting so much emotion out of it, positive emotion, things that make their life rich. If we're able to sort of experience this by being around those people, then this shows us that we can have this feeling as well. Right? We might think, oh, I'm only getting it through that person, but that is an illusion. Remember, it's your lens. You just got an inspiration. That's all it is. And with that inspiration, you can say, I want to have this in my life as well. I want to have this emotion on a daily basis, and I'm not going to wait for an external trigger, the other person, in order to feel that. I can generate this feeling on my own. And you can generate it through listening to music. You can generate it through, exposing yourself to art or any kind of circumstances, different cultures, whatever it may be. But if it comes down to reinventing yourself, the fact that you can pull up so many different aspects because you can get inspired and you're able to do that. Remember, this is not something every person can do. This is a typical INFJ thing. Not to say that other types won't be able to do this, but in this particular case, this is one of the things INFJs are very good at. Reason number 3 why INFJs are such a master at reinventing themselves is because we're focused on the future. And if you're focused on the future, you're able to let go of the past rather quickly. Yes, there are things that have hurt us. Yes, there are things that we are carrying with us for a long time, but we're not that nostalgic, right? We're not holding on to so much that has happened, and we're not looking back at better times in the past. What we are focused on is creating a better future. And if you're looking ahead, you are giving yourself the opportunity to create something new. There's nothing holding you back, and you can go out into the world and say, tomorrow is a new day, and I'm going to be a different person then. I mean, don't get me wrong, we can't erase our past altogether, and this is not something we would want. We're going to take our lessons learned, we're going to learn, what makes sense for us or what doesn't, but still, there isn't something that is subconsciously holding us back to such extent that, other types have to deal with very often. And this is a plus in the column. This is one of the things that is going to be able to help you to reinvent yourself over and over again. People who are very connected to the past have a hard time doing this. And we as INFJs aren't one of them. Reason number 4 why INFJs are such masters at reinventing themselves is because once we have new information, we create a new belief system. This has absolutely everything to do with our first and our third function. So introverted intuition and introverted thinking. A lot of people, once they're exposed to new information, they just, categorize it in some kind of way in their mind, and it's information, nothing more than that. But the way we are set up, the way our mind works, once we have new information, we have a new belief system. We create a new meaning behind things. So if we go through the world and we always think all people who wear a red shirt are good people, right? This is, of course, a very superficial thing to say, but those are the kind of things we put in our mind. And once we learn that, okay, this is not completely correct, what actually is right is that if you wear a dark red shirt, then you're a good person. And if you're wearing a light red shirt, you're not a good person. This is new information that we put into our system. And so if you look at absolutely everything that you encounter, it's not just information. It really changes your belief system. And, it's really that combination of NI-NTI, meaning this is all about creating an internal world and an internal logic, right? That is the combination. That is what makes up your belief system. So I'm not just putting in my mind, okay, red shirt, good person, or, dark red shirt, good person, but it actually means something to me. I see the world differently. I become somebody else because now I have a different relationship with people who have light red shirts. This is the way our mind works. And of course, we don't do it with, superficial things like this. But I think it makes it clear that it isn't just something that is an information and it doesn't really change how we see the world, right? For other types, it might be, oh, it's a good person if they wear black shoes or if they wear brown shoes, okay? And they don't care if you wear a red shirt or not. For us, it really changes how we see the world. It changes how we navigate throughout the world. And so we're able to reinvent ourselves, not just, on a superficial level that makes other people look at us differently, but at the core, we're still the same. But we're allowing ourselves to see ourselves and our environment differently. Every single person is capable of that. But because we have such a connection to our subconscious, we can do this rather easily, we can do this very extremely, and we can do it very fast. And those are superpowers when it comes to the ability to reinvent oneself. Reason number 5 why INFJs are such masters at reinventing themselves is because we're able to reach people differently once our belief system has changed. So think of it like this. Maybe some people are able to change their belief system, but they're not able to communicate that to other people. INFJs have a very unique skill set in that regard because the way we communicate, we make people understand how we see the world emotionally. It's a state that we're communicating, right? Our second function is extroverted feeling, and that is all about creating an emotion, creating an emotional state that reaches people, that touches them, that makes them feel something. And once we have a different belief system, because we've been able to really build that up, we're also able to communicate that to other people. And through that, we're actually impacting even more people with that change. And this has a couple of effects, right? Some people are really scared of INFJs, like we're too different, we're too weird. We touch them in a way and reach them in a way that makes them uncomfortable because it's so new. We're sort of playing like this role and, they don't know what that is. Like they see us as a character who's living like they're on drugs or they're living in a different universe. Some people really react this way towards INFJs. Others are transformed by the way we show up. And, some people are just in between. But most of the time, we actually have a very strong effect on other people because of the way we communicate, right? This is not just verbal. It's about how we show up in the world. And so you might say, okay, the fact that we're able to communicate our new belief system, so the fact that we have reinvented ourselves, that we see the world differently, that we see ourselves differently, so the fact that all of this has changed and we're able to communicate that to people, why does that make us masters at reinventing ourselves? I'll tell you why. Because the fact that you showing up has such an effect on people, all of that is actually a mirror to you. So you go through life, you have already changed your belief system, and on top of that, you are getting mirrored back that you have changed. What does that do? It accelerates your level of change, your level of reinvention. I talk about this very often, that the relationships that we have, the dynamics that we have, that there are anchors towards the person we want to be or towards the person we don't want to be. The fact that people are mirroring back to you, yes, that's who you are because, that's the way you present yourself. This back and forth, just makes it even more potent. So when we look at all of the reasons that we've talked about, the fact that we're not that grounded, the fact that we pick up so much new, not just information, but inspiration, the fact that we're focusing on the future, not just on the past, that we're able to create a new belief system in ourselves. So we're not just playing a role and pretending to be somebody else, but we feel it deeply in our bone. And on top of that, even if we have some kind of doubts, they pretty much die off because if you show up as that new version of yourself, the version who has been reinvented, then you get the feedback of, yes, you are that new person. You're not that old person that I used to know. And this combination of skill sets, this combination of cognitive abilities makes us a powerhouse when it comes to being able to reinvent ourselves and when it comes to being able to adapt ourselves to new circumstances. So when you think of all of them, think about how you're using them in your day-to-day life. Can you do even more of that? Can you be more proud of those qualities that you do possess? Because once you start being proud of that, you will want to be even more of that. You're not going to look at them and say, oh, there's something wrong with me. Why am I not like the people around me? And this is particularly true in this time and age. So use this to your advantage. You got everything going for you. Remember, if you want some more insights, some more guidelines, how to get that process started, then check out the free poster on the INFJ Epic Life Formula. And if you want to go into detail and you want to know step by step how to create a momentum and a holistic approach to this entire endeavor, then get the INFJ Epic Life audio guide. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video How the INFJ Bypasses Everyone.